Am I too old for this? Well, here we go again. They said, just start. Just put yourself out there. Lock in. Put the content out there. Just start. Because it's easy. I feel like I've been on this journey of wanting to do more creative things like YouTube videos and content creation. But at this big age of 40 something, the question always is am I too old for this? And the reality is you're never too old. You're never too old to pivot. So here I am, starting again, aiming to use this as a series of videos to help keep me accountable, not just start, but actually keep going. And that is my problem, is that I'm good for starting something. It's the follow through. It's the consistency. For me is the problem. And I recognize that about myself. And so here we are again. So with that being said, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Gina, or simply Worthey. If you are 40 something or maybe not, but you're interested to see of what the journey of a 40 something year old professional who loves lifestyle content, who loves solo travel and just travel in general, and also maybe has an interest in learning some different professional skills that can hopefully have you grow, develop, see life differently, then this is the channel for you. So we're going to go on this fantastic voyage of seeing what can be produced and hopefully touching some folks and having an impact that might be in the same stage of life, wondering what the hell am I doing? While also at the same time of, okay, this is what we're doing and we're going to start again. So welcome to Simply Worthey. So I guess in this journey, the best place for me to start is actually starting with the why. So like, why is it that I'm aiming to start again and then using this video as accountability for moving forward? I think with any client of mine, that's the place I always start with is what is your why around anything that you're doing? So if I had to be a client for my own self, that would be the question that I would ask. That is the question that I'm asking, right? Is what is my why? And I think bottom line is that in the year of our Lord, 2025, where things have felt like it has been about 25 years in one, while also an interesting year of pivots, highs, lows, craziness. Sometimes I feel like we hear that about a lot of years, but this year has been a very particular year. I am also of the belief that for every hard or difficult or closed door, that there is an open window someplace. And I think what this year has done for me has pushed me into the window that has always been open, which is this creative window. In my regular day-to-day life, I own and operate a company that does consulting with government and a lot of different other types of organizations and companies. And so in light of all that's gone on in the US, it's forced me to pivot, but it's also created an opportunity to explore the creative sides of who I am and what I enjoy. So I started this YouTube channel earlier in the year. And it was really for the purpose of a creative outlet, wanting to try something different. I think there's been a measure of interest when it comes to creating and developing something that you can look back on, and that it almost becomes like a video journal, what the kids calling it these days, a vlog of your own life. But honestly, like I'm very much of the mind of journaling. And so having this sort of medium where I'm able to kind of talk through my journey and, you know, hopefully it touches some other folks along the way. It's a different type of connection that I want to make with people. Also, it is aspects of who I am that I actually want to draw out. So there's a measure of pivot when it comes to the logical components of the work that I do compared with maybe more of the creative components that I want to be doing. And so that's where this comes in. So part of my why is that I want to do something different. I want to explore the other creative sides to me. And then honestly, I have always been fascinated, particularly during the pandemic, because this kind of created the situation where people were doing like van life and, solo travel in a different way than they've ever done before. And there was always something about that kind of like alternate lifestyle that was appealing to me. Not that I was trying to be in anybody's van traveling anywhere like that, but it was always fascinating to me of people who chose to take a different pathway, literally and figuratively, for the life that they wanted to build and create for themselves. And I've been on this journey in terms of building my business for 2 decades now. And so I'm looking to pivot. I'm looking to do and try something different. And why not now? So this is going to be the journey that we're on where, as you see videos pop up, that they're going to be on my travel experiences, which I'm blessed to be able to travel, but I'm going to be more intentional about showing those things because I feel like there are women that are in their 40s, such as myself, that might be of the mind where I'm at is where I'm always going to be. And that maybe leads to kind of like the second thing that made me think about why I even want to do this and venture down this road again. It's setting different intentions for myself. So there are truths that I had encapsulated within, I think, my mind and my being of that is the only truth. And what I mean by that is I am a caregiver to my mom, and I had a truth that she's probably not going to really be able to travel with me, or that I'm not going to be able to have like the freedom in the way that I would like to unless I do caregiving in a very particular sort of way. So I have not only limited myself, but I've limited my mom. And the reality is that my mom has been a world traveler since I was probably about 10 years old, with her taking a trip to Honduras. So it's one, forgetting that my mom actually loves this space and she's perfectly capable of doing so. So there was a truth, but it wasn't the full truth. So changing my thoughts and the truths that I held, the inner monologues, the narratives that I had been saying, is that I needed to shift and adjust that. So now shifting and adjusting it required a different sort of intention that I was setting. And I remember listening to something that was talking about how just setting your intentions, which really translated out into what are some new truths that you need to believe about your own life and in your own life circumstances and situations. And so with that, it was starting to just actually say and call out that no, I can continue to be a world traveler, that I can continue to have freedom, that my mom can also experience these things, that she is also capable, and that we don't need to live within what is the typical American paradigm for what success looks like, what lifestyle looks like, or any of that. That this truly is a choose your own adventure time. And because I feel like this year has created a measure of a crossroads for me, that it really is like, all right, let's go ahead and choose our own adventure. And one of the adventures that we're choosing is potentially head on our way to Korea as like the first stop, where we might spend 3 to 5 months, depending on kind of how things flesh out. But if you guys are here for the ride, I hope that you stick with us through the journey. So with that being said, as a recap, I'm starting again. I'm starting with why, to remember why I'm doing this. And then I'm also challenging my own truths that I have held that may not be serving me, and setting new intentions as I move along in this journey. So I hope that, again, you stay for the ride and that it keeps me accountable. Feel free to throw comments, thoughts, and ideas in the chat. But I hope this becomes a community where we can share, grow, and develop and see what life has to offer us in all of its fullness. Or craziness. I'm here for the experience. And just as a reminder, as a good friend of mine had said, that we're in this life for a good time, not a long time. So make it the best time. All right, I'll see you in the next video. It'll be a surprise for the both of us.